I'm Rick Titus, the founder of Intellect. We're an independent automotive research and analysis company. This dealer has asked us to do a road test and review of the 2012 Ford Escape. They believe, as we do, that the more you know about a product when you go to buy it, the more confidence you'll have in it while you own it. An important fact that you should be aware of regarding the Ford Escape is it's the best-selling small SUV in the entire market segment, and by a significant margin. Though amongst our team, it quickly adopted the nickname the Swiss Army knife. It may be a little package, but it's so incredibly versatile. Now, it's available in 3 different models, the XLS, the XLT, and the extremely loaded Limited. Though it bears mentioning, there's also a hybrid version as well. Now, if you're a mileage chaser, you're going to love the base engine. It's a 2.5-liter inline 4-cylinder. It makes 171 horsepower and 171 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a 5-speed manual transmission, this thing gets 23 city and 28 highway. It was not, however, our favorite engine. We preferred, well, the one with more scoot. That, of course, is the 3-liter V6. Now, that's got 250 horsepower and 228 pound-feet of torque, and that puppy gets down the road. Made it to a 6-speed automatic, guess what? 19 city and 25 highway. And should you go with the 35-pound tow package that's available here, that's the engine we'd highly recommend. Now, let's talk about suspension. When we test smaller vehicles, we anticipate that they're going to handle pretty well. But we're always concerned of how confident they feel. Are they well planted? The Escape belies its size. It not only is responsive in its handling, but it feels very confidently glued to the road. That was important to us. Also, I should mention that this one's a front-wheel drive. That's the base model. But we're a big fan of the available all-wheel drive system. It's the first of the lightweight systems that were introduced. We think all-wheel drive's your friend all the time. And since there's nothing required of the driver to make it work, we think it's a great system to have at virtually no penalty to fuel economy. Good stuff. Now, this one actually has disc brakes in the front, drums in the rear. The discs in the front are nearly 12 inches in diameter, and the rear drums are 10. That's probably a lot of brake for the smaller package, but if you decide to option up to the Class 2 3,500-pound towing package, you're going to be grateful to have these rather large brakes. One last key detail while I'm down here. Not only is this thing McPherson strut, but they went with a low rolling resistant Michelin tire, very effective at enhancing gas mileage, and it's not noisy either. Nice accomplishment. All right, let's talk safety. You know, every time we get presented with what they refer to as an economical vehicle, we automatically whip out the magnifying glass to make sure safety wasn't cheated upon. We love to see that in the Escape, they have all the crumple and wrinkle zones they're supposed to have, the cross-car beams, the impact mapping, the door beams, the kind of details that really separates cheaper cars from well-built cars. Of course, 6 standard airbags told us they were pretty serious about it, and the belt tensioners, the fact that the bags are dual stage and there's sensors to tell them where the driver's positioned. That's the kind of information we like to see. And what about safety technology, stuff to keep you from being in a crash? Well, the fact that the Escape comes standard with advanced track, this is good stuff. This is electronic stability program to help keep the vehicle in attractive sense. And this is now equipped with a newer technology referred to as roll stability control. Should you get hit or somehow get the vehicle tripped up where it may be in a little bit of trouble, this system gets involved and plants the vehicle back down on the ground. Very nice stuff. Other key things that you'll get used to. You go with the nav system in here, which, by the way, is voice activated. You get a rear camera. You get to watch right on that screen what's going on behind you. That's good safety technology. But if you buy a vehicle of this nature, you're going to want to carry stuff. Let's take a look at the cargo capacity. So what do you say to a small SUV that thinks it's a full-size SUV? Well, if you're smart, absolutely nothing. See, the Ford Escape thinks it's a full-size SUV. Want proof? With the second row seats up, this thing actually has 31.4 cubic feet of cargo space. Oh, and if you fold those seats down, it goes up to 67.2 cubic feet. This thing is huge on the inside. Oh, and subtlety of detail, they thought of everything for the Escape. Should you be carrying anything that's messy, you just turn the cargo mat over. It's rubberized on the backside. Let's take a look at the interior. You know, the second you get inside the Escape, You start to relate to my tagline of it's like a little Swiss Army knife. Everything here is so functional, so convenient and easy to use. Really appreciate that. Love the ergonomic layout of the dashboard. Love the line of sight to the instrument panel. And of course, an adjustable steering column that's standard. We think is a kind of detail that makes this vehicle so pleasant to operate with. In terms of the audio side, you know, you're not giving up anything. Guess what? Sirius radio, HD radio, traffic link, all the things you'd expect, MP3 player, you know, the kind of details that, well, everyone seems to be after these days in this marketplace. Now, let me share with you a couple of thoughts. You know, we have 5 key criteria to which we rate a vehicle, and I think you might find them helpful for yourself as well, no matter what you're looking at. We take on the value story, and in terms of value, boy, you look at the price of this vehicle for what you get, this thing's really strong on the value side. Safety, well, of course we expect everything that's possible, and guess what? Ford always delivers on that. All their key safety features are here. It's a great safety story, hence why it does so well in the crash testing. And of course, there's a performance side. Now, there are 2 sides of that story. All of us at Auto Intellect tend to prefer a lot of scoot. We think power is your friend. But if you're after every piece of gas mileage, well, then you know what? You might want the 2.5-liter inline 4-cylinder. We happen to be a bigger fan of the 3-liter because of the additional scoot. Plus, if you're going to tow the 3,500 pounds this thing's capable of towing, you're going to want that slightly bigger engine. That said, we then look at handling. We think handling not only makes a car fun to drive, makes it more pleasant and less tiring to drive as well. Not to mention which, it gives you that added safety feature of accident avoidance. We think that's good news. And then it comes down to convenience. And frankly, when you get in the smaller SUV segment, vehicles of this size, convenience starts to become a little less of a priority. Not the case here. We think the execution is solid. Large doors, easy seats to get into, and certainly plenty of cargo capacity. Overall, how do you give this thing anything other than a rating of excellent? I suspect you better understand why we refer to the Ford Escape as the Swiss Army knife of small SUVs. One word of warning, as much as you might love it, don't try and sneak it through airport security. Listen, if you have any questions about Ford Escape or any vehicle for that matter, you can contact us at autointellect.com. We'd be happy to answer your questions. My name's Rick Titus. Thanks for taking the time to be with us.